Hello. Today's lesson is on the third of four transformations, which is a translation. So we learned how to do a reflection and a dilation, and now we'll do a translation. So what is a translation? A translation is just a transformation that will slide the same figure in the same direction. Okay. And you can remember what a translation is, because translation has SL in it, and so does the word slide. Okay? Okay, so on your chart on your paper, it asks you, how would the following translation affect a coordinate? Don't forget that when you have your graphs, this right here is your x-axis, and this right here is your y-axis. So if I were to move 8 units to the right, I would move along the x-axis, which means that it would affect my x-coordinate by adding 8. Since I'm going to the right, that's the positive side. So I'm going to say plus 8 right here. Now, how would it affect my y-coordinate? I'm not going up or down at all, so it doesn't affect my y-coordinate at all. So I'm just going to put a line through it to indicate that it doesn't affect it. If you could press pause and try the rest of this chart, that would be wonderful to make sure you really get it. And then press play again and join me again and see if you get the right answers. Okay, so moving 3 units to the left means that it would also affect my x-axis. So I would change my x-coordinate by having me subtract 3, because left is the negative side, so this is minus 3. Okay, now if I were to move 9 units up, it would now affect my y-axis right here, and since it's up, it's positive, so I would add 9 right here. By the way, this has no effect on the y-coordinate. Moving 3 units to the left has no effect on the y-coordinate. Moving 9 units up has an effect on the y-coordinate, but it does nothing to the x-coordinate, so we're going to we're going to cross that off. And then moving 7 units down, same thing, it's going to affect my y-axis, and I'm not going anywhere in the x direction, so I'm going to write minus 7 here, and then I will just put a line through this right here. Alright, so let's go ahead and do what question number 3 is asking us to do. It's asking us to translate triangle NFL 2 units to the right and 2 units down. So I'm going to take this right here and I'm going to graph out this triangle. But it's already graphed out for me, so I don't have to worry about that. Then I'm just going to go ahead and do what it asks me to do. I want you to always underline what it is that it asks you to do, so you remember exactly what it is that you have to do. You literally do what it asks you to do. Go 2 units to the right and 2 units down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my N right here, and I'm going to go 2 units to the right and 2 units down, and that is my new coordinate right there. So this right here is the new N, so I'm going to call it N prime. It's literally that easy. So again, you just go to the right 2 and then go down 2. Please press pause and then try it with, please try with F and L after you press pause, and then come back and see how you did compared to how I did. Okay, so for F, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go to the right 2 and down 2, and this is my new F right here. So this right here will be my F prime. And then lastly, I will do the same thing with my L. So this is L right here. I'm going to go 2 units to the right, 2 units down. So this right here is where I'm going to place my L prime. Okay. Lastly, all I have to do is connect my dots so I can have my new NFL prime. So go ahead and connect your dots to make your new triangle. And this is what I get. Alright, so now I have to write out what my new coordinates are. So let's go ahead and write out what the new N is. So I went to it's to the right 7 and up 2, so the new N prime, is 7, 2. The new F, I went to the right 5 and down 3, so the new F is 5, negative 3. And then the new L, the L prime, be really careful. Don't tell me that this is 0, 2, because I went to the right 2 and up 0. So this coordinate right here would be 2, 0. Now there are two specific notations that we will use when we do a translation. The first notation is where we take x, y, and we move it to what the new x and the new y is going to be. Now if I'm going to move 2 units to the right, it means that I'm going to add 2 to my x. So this turns into x plus 2 because I'm going 2 units to the right. And then if I'm going 2 units down, it means that this y will turn into y minus 2. Okay? So now let's go ahead and actually apply it to one of these coordinates. So if you see n is 5, 4, so if I take 5, 4, and I do what it tells me to do right here, I'm going to just apply it to this rule, I end up getting 5 plus 2, and then I also end up getting 4 minus 2, which turns into 7, 2, which is what I had as my n prime. So that's how you can apply the rule if you don't have to graph it out. Let's try it with one more example. So let's try it with the f. So if the f was 3, negative 1, this turns into 3 plus 2, and then negative 1 minus 2, which turns into 5, negative 3, which is exactly what we got for f prime right here. Now, one other notation for this is a capital T. So I'm going to put a capital T right here. Here's my other notation that I will have. And then since I went 2 units to the right, it's a positive 2. So I'm going to put a small positive 2 down here, comma, since I went 2 units down, it's going to go to the left, or sorry, a negative 2 right here. So this is my other notation. So here's one, and here's the other one. Okay, so for example, if I asked you to figure out what direction x, y turning into x minus 5, y plus 7 is, you'd be able to tell me that this means that I'm going to go 5 to the left, and this means I'm going to go 7 up. Okay, and then if I asked you to write this out as using the second notation I showed you, it means you would say it's T, capital T, and then you would go negative 5, 7. Okay, similarly, if I gave you this notation right here, and I told you it was T, negative 8, negative 4, that means that xy will turn into x minus 8, y minus 4, and that you would be going 8 to the left and 4 down. Okay, so let's look at question number 4. It says to write 2 notations for left 5 and up 6. So one way I could write this is I could say capital T, and then since I'm going to the left 5, this would be a negative 5. And then I'm going up 6, so it would be a positive 6. Or I could say xy turns into x minus 5, y plus 6. Okay, press pause, try number 5, and then come back and see how you did. Okay, in number 5, the 2 notations for right 2 down 11 are going to be T, capital T, and then I'm going to write a positive 2 and a negative 11 like this. Okay, and then the other way I could do it is I could say xy turns into x plus 2 and then y minus 11. And then I would just close my parentheses and I am done with that. Lastly, I just want to talk about the general form for a translation. So the general form for a translation would be capital T and then H, comma K, which means that you're changing horizontally H units and vertically K units. Or you could say XY turns into X plus H, Y plus K. That's the general form. So in this example right here, the H was 2 and the K was negative 11. And that should make sense to you because the 2 was the horizontal change, so it's positive, or so that's what H is. And the negative 11 was the vertical change, and that's what K is. All right, we will go over the 3 properties next time I see you in class. Talk to you soon.